think ironically they're both readying up as well. Is this the start?
Yes, everybody's running out mid, and product first map of the evening here, picked by Plush, I believe.
Deku, I think, was the first to mid, but gets taken out almost immediately by Hellish. A bit of a demo versus demo exchange. It's always a bit of a crapshoot in mid at the first opportunity. But both these teams seem to be holding their own very well. A bit of an attacking forward going out. I just see Dominance gone down.
Yeah, Dropking sacked in for 100 damage, and Dowell was there to clean up with pistol. Will go down eventually, but now it's just playing defense here right now, keeping safe from the sacks, and so far it's working out just fine. Godmode going down here to the sniper as well. It's tremendous for them to just be able to take space freely. It's just a matter of holding on Gilga, Zambi, and Odin, trying to contest him. Elspeth is kind of weak, taking damage, but it's looking good so far. They just need Captors out now.
Yeah, absolutely. The sheer force of Odin is not enough to rectify 8 or 9 up players.
See how this works. They kept point first. He took a while, unfortunately, so that's a lot of time they could have gotten, but didn't with the whole cap taking a while. But they will have the first cap and advantage player. That's a lot of time you can just get alone from that, but the sacks will keep coming in here.
Yeah, curious to see what kind of a hold they make, whether or not they're kind of deciding to push forward or back, but it sort of doesn't matter. There was a big drop there.
Yeah, Elspeth trying to keep safe in the dispenser. Didn't quite work out. The stickies reached past that, unfortunately, so big advantage to the side of Plush now. Players just spawning on both sides here, all in position to maybe make something happen, but obviously Plush will try to play safe from that. Giga and Odin around the medic.
If they can make really good use of this Uber when they finally get it, then they can literally change the sides over. I mean, they're getting the foot on the point at the moment, but maybe not really enough to justify getting excited about it.
Yeah, Dowell unfortunately doesn't get the stab on the medic, only got the sniper. The sniper down still hurts quite a bit, as if we don't want to have to use for this, but it looks like they might have to, and it's up to defense here right now to make everybody survive. Demo struggled really high in the end, but they didn't get anything. In fact, they lost players, if anything. Spy, Angie, Scout down here right now makes a repush, all more viable.
Yeah, speaking of, this was the map that joined the Russian Grand Finals over in Moscow LAN, where Sniper just proved to be incredibly important and dominated the entirety of the event. So yeah, getting a Sniper is crucial. Perhaps not as obviously crucial in a Highlander match, but can make a difference on this map more so than anything else.
Dowell again with a nice little attempt at a surprise step. Only got Scout this time, and big jump in by the auto picking up 2 players for the place of 1 there with his swap.
Turning Bed going down as well. Turning Bed's one of those few names that I recognise if only for inadvertently being in a bit of a mix-up with regards to the Copenhagen Games medals earlier in a week. But yeah, there's some fantastic players that are just on the very cusp of being internationally recognised superheroes.
Definitely. If anyone, it would be Tanny, right? I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
He's making himself a presence in that for sure. Either way, Dowell getting bot mode as well. There's almost even time on the clock, so this sniper pick could be really important. No quick classes right now. And Andy on snipers, what Bio has immediately using the lesser presence of the enemy sniper to just come forward, play a little more aggressive, and help his team come towards point, cap it back up for them. On this ad as well.
Yeah, I was about to say something fantastic about Dowell and his amazing placement, but then he ran into the flames of death and doom, so maybe not so much.
But Super did catch Elspeth on the way out here, so Medic went down, and now it's not looking too great for Kogu just yet. They're trying to just fight this out with Raw DM, but it's not looking too pretty decky stuff between Scoutify. Neither of them really want to have anything to do with it, but Big Man just barely picks up anyway. Not the second one too well though, and the third one won't happen in the first place, so Dominant stays alive, and only a minute left for Kogu to make the comeback here.
Yeah, is a minute long enough for either one of these teams to manage to get a full Uber? I'm not sure that is.
We'll see. Either way, it's almost even, and Kogu forced to make the move here. Was the contest. They are winning these like sort of small exchanges across the point, getting picks, but it's not enough for them to start a really good team coordinated like push with it in the end. Something else needs to happen beyond that. They get these sort of 1v1 picks. Sniper, the Spy always like seem to be favoring them, but you can see the things slips from Elspeth took a lot of damage to this Ollie, and Bigman is just waiting for an opportunity to pick her up, and he's coming away, and no one's with her. Everybody's so far away. That's an easy pickup for the Spy.
Fantastic, beautiful play. Well, I love seeing Spies finish them off with a pistol. That's just like it's almost an abuse of Spy. You want to get them to get the knife, but it's a more even match, I think, with a Spy acting with a pistol.
It's always good to see that the Spies realize in various motives that they do in fact see enemy health and don't need to go for the stab every time. Either way, though, Uber comes in just to secure, just pick up some more frags. way far away from this point. No one really can reach it. Decky will barely get there in time, but it's such an unfavorable fight right now that they need to fight. Everybody's just all across the point for the red team here, and not really hitting too many shots. Elspeth goes down, that's the medic down for them, but the fight keeps going, and what they have though is just a heavy with the medic, and that's usually good enough for now.
I was going to say, DuMmTm making one hell of an effort to try and stay alive there. Just being in the action, firing off those crossbow shots, but making sure they didn't go down as well. And that's it, 1-0. Red team being incredibly, well, not incredibly dominant, but certainly making their mark.
Yeah, like I said, Kogu can start opportunities, but they can't finish off them, and the pushes are just not quite coming out in time when they have player ahead. And that's what I think holding them back right now the most. They can take the demo fight early, takes a lot of damage, and just take the advantage of this, but both fairly weak.
Yeah, watching the sniper of Godlike for a moment there and seeing if anything amazing comes out of his play, but nothing really to be seen here.
Well, for once, yeah, Dowell wins the 1v1 with Solly. That is interesting. He tries to kill up the spike wall. Doesn't quite happen. 2-4 pick advantage for Plush here. Not too much, but they're still pushing the issue with it, pushing the point for that matter. Getting the entry eventually with that. Just having such a better presence right now. Eventually both heavy try to drop down to help out the teams, but Kogu already pushed back quite a bit more. Neither team kept the point yet, and that's the spy picking up the sniper on top of things. Just makes it even harder for Kogu to contest.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, two player classes that realistically make it just an unfair advantage on this map as Sniper and Spy. Get either one of those two classes hits off, then your options just open up for you.
Yeah, so Plush will cap up the pointer this time as the first team this round. Having that nice little time lead going into the next few fights here, and it is Kogu again having to press the issue here. They are on this side right now, and the Ebros makes it just that bit harder. Solly bomb in by Drop King, finds the medic, but protected by everything in the house.
It's weird, amazingly ineffectual sniping by God Mode there. Oh, watching a bit of Dow coming up, trying to make it.
He was just a bit too late. He spotted them perfectly in time and house, but the moment he decloaked, they were already gone.
Yeah, chasing after victims that are no longer victims is not a good tactic for a Spy. Speaking of which, here comes Rickman again. And I think he's been spotted by that pyro.
Yeah, that is always nice to not have to worry about. It's not the huge play you want to have, like the spy pick, but it still is just very comfortable not to have to worry about that. He comes in from the back and this time around picking up the sniper. Again, a nice pick to have, but with the heavy down, there's so much damage and damage taken that just isn't there anymore for Plush, that they need to be careful here with the sniper on. Everybody is taking a lot of damage because of with the stickies by Decky, and it forces Eber. That's good enough to start the fight off with. The Eber force out of Elspeth, but well, looking better, but they drop two players straight away.
Yeah, it seems like a fairly ineffectual Uber by this blue team. They really didn't get anything dramatic with that.
Yeah, just they had to play for contention, really. They had to play for this sort of play, but they didn't quite seem ready for it, so it just became a really messy fight with Elspeth getting chased on at the end as well, so they just weren't quite prepared for the one play they really needed to be, and it just ticks down more and more time of the clock in favor of Plush now, about a minute left.
Yep, 45%, so that's a fairly massive advantage for Dominant right now. Maybe Dowell is going to make the difference here. Gets the demo.
Yeah, that's 2 down on each side here. Kogu, however, little time left, needs to start pressing forward, and slowly capping the point, but slowly is not good enough here. And with this advantage as well, it's going to be hard to even keep it in the first place. Bio picking up the heavy demo down as well, little damage across the point for them on Plush anymore, so it's just Kogu pressing forward as much as they can, picking up Otto as well with that. And we can't contest with this gun anymore, so they've capped the point now, and it's all about super situation right now.
Yeah, it's about positioning as well. They've got to make sure that they don't sort of overstretch and go beyond their limits. As we saw in that last sort of exchange, if you're out of position, if you're stretched beyond the safety capacity, then you just get destroyed by a more eager team.
Right, Uber exchange started by Plush, 3-for-3 exchange so far. They're still forward with a lot of players. Giga staying in late to just not have a chase on this medic happen as much as possible. Will go weak for that, will go down for it in fact as well. Not the picks really they've been looking for on Plush, not the exchange they've been looking for, and Kogu can continue to hold as long as they play careful about it and not get rushed, but so far it doesn't look like people are much ready to sack at all here for Plush at all.
Yep, I can definitely say that's true. Look, a bit of aggression going up by that soldier. A bit of rockets from the top, but again, medic survived.
Yeah, well-timed bomb by Otto just opened things up for the team the moment he had the health back. He needed to do it. Got them back on the point fairly quickly. All of Kogu just wanting to play safe. That's fine, but they are on the time disadvantage now. They just made themselves put to the position where they have to press forward yet again, desperately, with only 30 seconds left on the clock, losing the heavy early to Bigman as well. On top of things, with a level 3, just waiting to deny any and all aggression here. Perfect timing to have a level 3, as all of Kogu just has to play point right now.
Speaking of Bigman, I was hoping that he was going to make some amazing mid right then. But no, gets spotted out. Goodbye, Bigman. It's not going to be your game right now. Although there's
drop.
King.
Drop King's actually saving them maybe here. The drop comes in just in time. They have little time on the point, but maybe just enough to cap it back up here. Were used in time as well, and Bigman play only got, I don't actually know what, but definitely not the medic here, so that might have just saved them.
That was a severe case of counting your chickens before they're actually hatched. For me, I thought that round was over. I genuinely thought we were done here, but that soldier just came in and owned.
Yeah, and let's see what Plush's response to that is. For one, it's Dowell just keep going in, getting rewarded for it as well. So there's that, Dowell just picking up on the team, and maybe that's just what they need right now. Snipers up on Plush's side makes all the life for them easier though, and they're just holding forward with no pick classes to worry about, and they just need to cap this point at any cost. It doesn't look like Kogu really can reach the point. The combo was so scared of everything pushing up to them, they really did not feel comfortable testing this.
Are we seeing this happening? Like, cause it didn't really come down to a tremendous difference last time. I think there was a much more comfortable race that last map, that last push. The contention, the sort of it being in even splits, isn't really there.
See what they have in store for this mid attack again, taking the worst end of the demo exchange, blocking, going deep, trying to open up for the team, but he's fairly late to act off the zone. He just goes down for it. Not the best of opportunities made there from the Solly on blue, and it's just Plush being able to capitalize a bit, just keeping safe behind point. Decky pushing up, he goes so weak for it, won't even get rewarded for a kill, just barely goes down to bleed damage by the scout's knife, and it just looks really nice for Plush to keep going point and just spam people out fairly far and safely with the rest of his mid fight.
Yeah, speaking of spam, Hellish was really throwing basically everything, the baby out with bath water and everything over the edge there. But it's important to keep the spam going. Oh, watching Dole, hoping for a bit of a snap action there, doesn't quite manage to fulfill his potential.
Let's see, even Ubers on both sides here, and a few picks to work with. Dropkin going down, as well as Dowell for the exchange of a scout and an engineer. Tanning getting stabbed yet again in the back lines, all the way back. Not even part of this fight right now that they need to start taking here. And they don't have much
to get
choice.
A stab for themselves. That was a heavy, turned into an icicle right there. There's a lot of licking on a heavy icicle.
They still need to really start going forward here. Minute already off Plush's clock, and it's all about how this Uber goes, but Elspeth falls so early for jams across the point, and Dowell not getting anything done on the medic Uber just makes this all the worse right now. Tanning getting sniped as well, Decky going down now. No one with Elspeth, only the sniper, and the chase is surely on.
Absolutely. Tanning bed down. I mean, where are you going to get your sunshades from when tanning bed goes down, goes offline? Somebody pull plug on him, and there's no more warp to be had.
I'm surprised no one really chased after the Uber exchange. Elspeth was weak, forced to begin with to use the Uber, so she was going to be weak at the end of the exchange. But Otto eventually finds his way to her and picks up everybody just abandoned yet again. I think just all alone behind house, everybody just keeps going forward way too fast. And without a heavy right now, it's looking dire for Kogu.
I was wondering if you noticed that the tanning bed just got eliminated once again. I mean, the sniper was, God mode was truly earning his name then. Watching Dowell, see if he can get, he does! Manages to get the pick off on the medic, and that is surely an opening.
It's nice to have. There's no heals on anyone right now, but they don't have Uber yet to pop for safety reasons. Will be a decent one as well, and once Dominant will be back up again, but they need to just be careful for sack. They have found success so far. Pipe straight down onto Elspeth's head, not quite killing, but everybody just has suddenly him cleaning up. Otto will take matters into his own hands, but this time the protection is there. Medic stays safe, and pretty much everything's dead. Classes are still on the field though, and they need to be careful about the spy and the sniper here.
Yeah, can't forget the sniper. I did see some beautiful modes there beautiful moments there from the sniper from Biohazard. Unfortunately, not at the moment. Otherwise, I'd love to be watching him right now. But just finishing off a few sort of classes that they tried to make an attempt on the point.
Yeah, and let's see what happens here. They have this anti dropping players left and right. Heavy get picked up by Dowell, that helps, but they just feel threatened in the corner. Need to use to even do anything of value here with their lives anymore. It's just weak, and they can't hold onto this much longer, and that's exactly what Plush wanted. They just stayed all the way back in the cliff and can just wait for the Uber to be up any moment here.
Yeah, the really strong advantage at the moment. Well, I'd say about 70% advantage. That's the entirety of the thing.
I can see 3 people down on Kogu right now, not really making it viable to Cassie, and they kind of don't have a choice. 30 seconds out left on the clock, with like 5 seconds before the demo even is up, and against the Faluba, it's going to be really hard to things like happen here. And it's on the pick classes to find a great opening for people to play off here.
Yeah, as you say, it's absolutely. I mean, they've got to make some sort of movement here. They can't allow this to finish. I mean, they're two maps down, or so 2 rounds down already. This is it. If you don't put your foot on the point, you're not even playing.
Let's see, they don't have a choice. They come forward here. They need to take the fight with the Eva, but it's looking dire for them. They have a good amount of time on the point, maybe just enough to fight back once the Eva fades, but this is all they have to play for right now. And losing players faster than they can pick up anything themselves right now.
I doubt Billy making his presence known on that team. Managed to get the medic down, but Billy just not quite enough. One player cannot own an entirety of the other team. No one player makes a Highlander. Is that how the phase goes? I'm not entirely certain.
I'm not either, but yeah, Plush very well deserved to win the first map here. Very strong showing, and I'm not surprised the comeback didn't happen. Kogu, knowing them myself, I can tell you with confidence that they're not like within one map comeback team much at all. They kind of start shrugging off a map and just want to move to the next one as fast as possible. Which sure helps you some opportunities, but as long as it works into the next map, then maybe that kind of happened, I think, in the semifinals as well, where they just kind of gave up on the first map and they just came back strong the next 2. And that's what they need here, but obviously competition doesn't get easier as you go up the ladder of teams in the bracket, so let's see if that's a good enough strategy. I think the next map will be Propaganda, the odd one out here of the season.
Yeah, you really can't only think from one map. It is just a case that you might have found a weak map or a map that you're not comfortable with. As you say, it could just be a case that if you recognise that this isn't going to be your map, just let the other team have a bit of fun. Let the other team play. Get them into a position of false confidence, and then destroy them in the next map.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. And yeah, I think nothing else much can be said besides just a stronger overall map being played here by Plush, right? Most of the people, there was like one sketchy Evo, and that was about it. Most of the exchanges one really worked. The side worked out brilliantly, and I think the only thing where it struggles a bit was the sniper having a much slower start than Biohazard here had. In the end, it like kind of evened out in point, but at the beginning, Bio clearly outclassed him. So assuming that can keep going just upwards for Plush, it's a good sign going forward that the sniper picked it up over the course of the map. But we'll see how that goes, right? It's 5 CP, which changes the dynamic for the snipers quite a bit. You are just a lot less like immediately impactful at all times, but the few times you have, you need to like make count.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as well with a 5 CP, you find that an engineer starts to become a much more useful class. I don't think they really sort of had any impact at all on that last map.
I don't know. Having played Highlander engineer myself, unfortunately, I can tell you that 5 CP is somehow like the least exciting thing of all times, in my personal opinion. But what do I know, right? And it just feels like so hopeless. Like you can't ever put up teleporters much because you just constantly have to go back and forth. The few times you get it up, it like is so valuable that you have to make sure you get them up when you can. And you're basically, just like a worse heavy and a worse scout at once, which is still like, valuable for sure, but you just never have the same impact on 5CP, I think, than you have on other maps.
I don't know. I think there's a secret
outside
lost
of
art
last,
in here.
I guess. On last, you're invaluable. You're like so required. If you die before last engineer, you're just such a hindrance for your team. So you make sure you're up for any defense for sure, but it's just such a hassle to constantly moving up your stuff. That's why you see a lot of teams usually resort to mini sentries, but when you have a free up in as a surprise factor, which we saw at the end of one of these rounds on product just now, it can be a big deal.
It's almost worthwhile hanging back and then building up your level 3 and then running all the way to the front as and when it's needed.
We'll see how it goes, though. Yeah, we don't usually look at Highlander looks too much because it's like roughly the same story at time. I think the only big difference to some other teams we'll see here, I'm just going to check real fast, is that Plush is a fairly heavy-centrically ordered team. They trust the heavy, have him the leader of charge a lot of the time, so I'm expecting a lot of damage coming out of Odin, but not really. He was just mostly playing on Cliff. So Plush on the right side here doing a pretty good job, mostly just staying alive, right? That's a big difference. And make sure that whenever they go in, because if you just look at the raw statistics here, they just got all the damage done, and they made it count whenever they went in, because a lot of times they just had the point they could play the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I've got to address the elephant in the room here. Dum, you're known for your sixes analytics. What are you doing in Highlander?
Well, I mean, it all started like I said, I'm friends with basically Kogu, right? So I just figured, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch them play a little bit. I care about my friends, want to see how they do, and it kind of evolved into me figuring out how well will they do when the season starts. So it's kind of like made a little bit of a tier list, if you want, of the mid-season. The first one was terrible. I made a new one week 2, which was a lot better. Because at the beginning of the season, I really didn't know too many people, so I needed some games to see where I want to throw people in comparatively positions. And it just kind of turned into me just watching to see how much do I get right, how much do I get wrong, and then also how my friends are doing. And also of Kogu as well. I just, compared to any other in Highlander, I actually know a lot of people here, surprisingly, in a variety of teams, a couple of playoff teams as well, which is nice to see friends are making it this far.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just turned into me wanting to find out how my friends will be doing. And here we are, some of them made it all the way in here, and Plush came into the season pretty much as the much expected first seed, I want to say, for most people. I didn't know them too well at the beginning of the season, so I put them in playoff range, but not on first at the beginning. That changed with my week 2 list, I guess. And yeah, here we are, and yeah, playoffs has been interesting.
Has this experience coaxed you over to the dark side of Team Fortress 2? Are you now tempted to take up the mantle of Highlander for yourself?
Probably not too much. Anywhere where my friends are, I probably will just keep watching just for the sake of it, see how they're doing, that kind of stuff. And I definitely would have been a lot less invested if I didn't make a tier list, I can tell you that for sure. That was a very fun experience. So I can just recommend people just try doing it yourself. You'll definitely suddenly start caring a lot more how teams do. It's a lot of fun. And, worst case scenario, you're wrong and make people upset about underseeding them or something. Which in turn, if they're really upset, just makes them want to play better and prove you wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so predictions, I guess, is appropriate then for this map. Who, bearing in mind, I think a fairly impressive performance of Plush last time. Do you think they can do it again?
It's going to be interesting. If this was the first map and not the second one, I would tell you that if Kogu can win this map, they can actually win it in the entirety. If they lose this, they're definitely out. At this point, obviously, that's just the state of the game, right? It's the best 3. Just because it's like the map, I want to say, and it sounds like I can compliment, but they're the least bad team on this map I've seen in the season mid.
Wow.
Because it's a new one, right?
That is a really backhanded compliment.
It's the new map out of all of them, so everybody's just super inexperienced on it, and they've consistently done fairly solid on it compared to most of the other teams who struggled a lot more on this map and often just try to not even play it as much, or just avoid it as much as they can. But they've done consistently fairly solid on it. We almost came back from playing with 8 people once for 5 minutes, which I guess should tell you what we have to expect here. So this would be the map they can win out of any of them. Obviously, at this point, it needs to be the one they win, right? For Plush, I don't have as much knowledge on how they're doing on this one. They didn't ban it out of anything they could have banned. I'm not sure what they banned. Maybe Steel. Steel would make sense given the fact that they were able to avoid it for the regular season, maybe. But as it stands, I don't know too much. I've seen the history against the Frenchies, which was a 3-1 game in the preseason cup and a 3-2 game in the regular season, so fairly close with a team that they otherwise handily beat on any map but Badwater. So either the Frenchies just have the most inconsistent map quality of maps in the entirety of TF2L.
Possibly.
Which, at this point, I'm starting to believe is true, because sometimes on Badwater, for example, they're just insane. On Steel, they're just, unfortunately, not really good at all. Maybe Propaganda is another example of this. Or Plush is just really not that comfortable on this map, but they had plenty of time to make their homework here since the start of the season.
Yeah, I'm personally a very big fan of this map. I think of all the maps that have come through in the last few years, this one it's certainly the most pretty map that we've seen in a long time. But there's a lot of interesting obstacles in the way. There's different heights of movements. There's high and low ground. There's very clear boundaries as well between sort of things that make for great sight lines or things that make a great position for a heavy to live or an engineer to live. And you don't always get that in maps. You don't always get the glory of a single class being able to dominate a particular area.
Yeah, especially not the Highlander, since there's just so much more resistance against any sort of trace you can make, that it just comes a lot more down to coordinated playmaking in many situations, where things just have to go right between 2 or more players at the same time. Just because there can just be so many more people on the receiving end that you have to pass in the first place. Sometimes that's possible, but it requires a bit of luck to just like get those moments in the first place. There's players here that can just make that happen. Storm, for example, just really likes searching for the opportunities where he just could press W and win with that. And I mean, he used to be a 6-1 once. Sad story, not this season. So the DM is there, and it just is about finding the right options to choose there from, and at that point it again comes down to your team to help you find those.
Yeah, do you think it's a sort of a less stalematy map than something, for example, like Gully?
I can't tell you with confidence, actually. It just, it's just too new to really have, for me, the knowledge on it, be it in 6 or Highlander. I can't really tell you that too greatly, since your teams are just not that good, and they just keep pushing and no one knows how to hold, or neither team is confident in their pushes on map either, and it just becomes very same at the expense of that. So it could just easily swing one way or the other, depending on how confident these teams feel in their place on this map.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm really keen to see how. I mean, I saw these teams in the not necessarily these teams per se, but I saw Highlander teams when this map was being reviewed or considered for inclusion in this season. And I haven't seen so much of it during the season, but surely this has been this will be the pinnacle of this season's activities within this map. So yeah, hopefully lessons have been learnt about how it should be played. And maybe we'll see some extraordinary strats being pulled out of the ether for it.
Yeah, hopefully. I think the point where Kogo, in my opinion, played the best is last. And the one where they're most contestable is mid, probably, I want to say. So, if you get a better start, it could mean a lot for Plush, alright? And if it's on the back foot for a long time, it could just make things harder and harder as time goes on. And that, I guess, can just play to most 5CP maps, right? The mid fight matters a lot. Just such a hard amount of work. And such a long time as well you have to spend to get back all across the map here. It's gonna be a tough one as well. So we'll see how that goes. I'm interested to see who picks up what general area to hold. I don't have much, obviously, knowledge of Plush playing this particularly, so it's really interesting to see how the flank combo coordination, who holds what on mid. You have these 3 areas, choke obviously, the main one you expect combos to be with the sniper, and then the 2 other ones where the flanks will attempt to make plays. I'm gonna be interested to see who picks up what general area here and tries to make plays from.
Yeah, I'm going to curious to see what you've determined to be cave, or what the various naming conventions for these things are.
Oh yes, I mean the cave is very obviously cave, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The one with the shutter door is just to my knowledge referred to as shutter. I don't know what other people say. Some people try to come up with something referring to the barrels in here, but the shutter is just the easiest way to refer it. Choke is just choke, so it's very simple. What I usually do whenever a map has the same general layout process, the 3 entries to mid to second layout, I always refer to either one of processes callouts or sunshines, because I'm lazy and it's much easier. But I've seen this map enough at this point that cave and shutter come natural. Otherwise cave would be flowers, I guess, and shutter would be PC or something. Or Sewer, I guess. Yeah, Sewer probably more likely. Something like that, which is a terrible way of doing it, so don't be like me in that case.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about pipe. Maybe there's a thing for that. It looks like we're going to find out in just a few moments what everything is called, though. We are ready to rumble, and we see a bit of a rollout happening. As you said, it's a long way to get to mid. So even at this point, it's going to be a few moments before anyone actually makes it all the way there.
Again, it comes down to the demo exchange early on. Hellish taking a bit of the worst end here right now, not hitting much at all on his end, taking him down to half HP. Not really any follow-up there. Walking straight, trying to shut down the sniper, taking him all the way weak. Got not really present with at all. Wigman is much more so, and by just barely giving it opportunity. But that might just matter a lot. The midfight already turning with 3 picks in Kogo's favor. Got more the moment he's back, takes his revenge, but so does Cute on the soldier.
Yeah, right. I'd love to see when a Pyro gets a reflect kill, and that was a beaut, so I'm really pleased with that.
Yeah, that is fairly convincing win for now. They just need to find an opportunity to play quick. There's only 4 people up, but one of them is a sniper, and you need to be well aware of where this guy is, not just run into a headshot waiting to happen here. So 4 people up need to be careful, but so does Kogu coming forward. Let's peeks the choke point. Godmos misses his shot. Spawns are coming in, and full Uber now on Plush's side. They look to want to contest this. Still don't have a good position at all. Ingame is really weak as well.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they don't both blow their Ubers at exactly the same moment.
Looks like the damage alone is forcing Plush back here all the way in like the hedge area, getting spammed down by the Norman. Didn't feel like they want to exchange from that far back, taking much worse exchange possibly. So Kogu got the way all the way to last without having his Weaver yet. They're all already in here, just scouting out where things are on the spy class invisibly. Makes it a lot more easy. Ooh, bumps into the NG though and won't get much of any opportunity to do much here.
Yeah, it was a pure moment of terror that I imagine for the NG, realising that there's actually a spy right in front of him or behind him. Yep, the hold is definitely in place right now. It's my worst fear. It's turning into just a game of give and take at this last sort of point. Where there's no
Drop is in, he's deep, he hits 1-2, he just needs a third one that lands properly, but he can't predict Dominant's movement in the last one. One player splash, either Giga was there for airblast if need be as well. Just to make sure, close call for Dominant, but no follow-up. Decky, I maybe tried to get some spam in, but Odin in the doorway just saying no to that. Demo and Soul down, Dowell missing his opportunity as well. So the play's currently not working for Kogu too well.
Oh, Bigman manages to get a stab off on the heavy, misses the medic though. But it's still alive and still
very spam
offensive.
From up top, Hellish force Uber as well on Elspeth. She needed to play safe. Odin up already way too far forward for the liking. Picks up the medic at the end of that Uber anyway. It's just a matter of what they can do post-Uber here right now. Odin basically standing inside of his medic just to make sure that nothing happens to either one of them. And Dropking misses his opportunity there unfortunately as well. Slash pipe hits Dominant, he's kind of weak, but no one's really there to contest that.
Yeah, follow-up seems to be a problem with both of these teams at the moment. But again, it's about knowing the map, it's about knowing that it's a good opportunity to move forward and take advantages of the advantages that are offered.
Yeah, Dropking Dowell still down, his Dowell just failed another stab fortunately, so let's say Plush trying to contest from K fairly aggressively with the whole combo, just seeing what they can do without the Ubers being up. Lack of spam really hurts a lot here just from the safe high ground with a bomb. Becky can be taken down as well. Players just slowly falling for the blue side here and Edward getting sniped by a pipe all across mid. Goes down, he actually nobody has been jumped, never mind, and that is really detrimental here. And God Mode still watches all of mid with the rest of the team backing him up, moving across it now.
Nemti Leah, I'm not certain how that name is supposed to be said, but I'm proving the point about the engineer being useful. Having that level 3 in mid, doing amazing ground holding technique.
Yeah, let's see if it's enough for them. 2 down right now. The only pick loss they have to worry about is the spy. So looking backwards should come natural, but Dominant is up there alone and has the easy time of his life doing that. Yeah, that was the only pick loss they had to worry about, and they just didn't care.
Oh, I should have been paying a little bit more attention. I'm definitely certain they would have heard the sound of him cloaking. There wasn't a huge amount of action going on, and Cave proves to be the peril of this team.
A bit of action and Shudder. Storm and Walking just walk past all of them. Really is hitting shots there, just a weird 2v2. But no one really wanted to be part of too much, and Plush ends up winning that. And the combo also missing some players here. Actually, Sniper and Pyro down. They can't really go anywhere, and it's so easy to get forced right now. Auto's taking his chances.
Yep, it's a lovely little exchange that's happening. An exchange really of points. Everything is shifted towards the value of the red team and then back. What's coming next?
Well, apparently not Big Man. He took so long to do anything during the bomb of Auto. It was such a good opportunity. He just tries to come forward now, has been spotted straight away. Not really anything he can do. Ubers is still in advantage elsewhere and already at 100%, so surely they are just getting everybody in the right position to move and try to make something happen with this. It's only 30%, it's not that big, but as long as people are close, he can get damage fast.
It looks like damage is being pushed to Hellish. Yep, Uber has been pushed out, and Dominant doesn't really have those to retaliate with yet, but it is coming up now.
Yeah, he just hightailed it out of that Shudder to escape Decky jumping deep. That's all they really had right now. Storm getting dropped, they didn't have the trade potential. They needed the medic and the scout really getting in deep. Dropking cleans up everything now by himself. One more rocket onto Dominant just to make sure he stays weak and stays careful, but it won't do the job itself, so a little bit of a close call at the end, but still unfortunately not good enough with we're just starting with a drop player.
They do have a tremendous advantage, 100% right now. They can use this Uber whenever they want or hold on to it and hope that they don't get stabbed out. I haven't seen Dowell recently. I don't know where he is hanging out.
Come just behind them, not uncloaked yet, or just uncloaking above them, not getting the right movement out of Dominant though, so he just will lose the fight against the scout. Bambi picking up. Now it's just a matter of what this Uber has to be used for. Tanning that forward, not enough to force that by himself. Picks up the NG, which is good, but maybe not good enough to hold last. As they're already starting to draw players before the Uber even gets popped into last.
Yeah, no sentry gun. You were saying before, no sentry gun. That's a big problem. There's no defense, and it loses them the point, or it gains the point depending on which side you're looking at. Red goes 1-0 up. Finally, after quite some time. That was a long time to be holding on without any score on the board.
Yeah, 7 minutes. All they had to do though for those 7 minutes is just play a little bit safer here. Kogu just had to take a few openings given to Plush, and that was just enough to push all the way from last to last here. So it all starts back at mid right now. The demo slowly coming in here. Decky a decent bit fast, and Head is way too weak despite being this slow. I don't know where that health went, but it did not equate to speed.
Yeah, he must have landed on a spike or something. That was a pretty unfortunate death right at the very beginning.
That obviously slows down the pace of the fight straight away for Plush against the favor. They get the NG quick, and he have to receive just that much more damage from Decky having that much more presence on the mid fight right now. Gun goes down, all in on half HP. Then have heat beam on him. Will go down as well. 2-for-2 exchange right now. Bigman trying to get onto Biohazard. No one spotted it, but he missed this time. Either way though, Dowell gets dominant all the way back in the back lines, and it just makes such a difference. Now to Bigman and Auto behind. They come in unspotted just now, but not past Pyro.
Oh, Bigman manages to get a bit of a kill on there, but is spotted out. Has to go in invisibility mode, as those sneaky spies tend to do. He's still alive and is still a present threat.
Surprised no one noticed him going full shot at the same time, but I guess it's very fortunate for him. Tries to take his chances. He's close to people. Cute might have noticed he's tracking behind, but what they need to worry about more right now is just playing forward, and they didn't enough sniper picks up and peeking the corner they didn't want to use, and maybe they just should have with disadvantage in hand. People were still close, they could have gotten valuable kills at last, but they really just wanted this 4 last to do with, and now it turns ugly for Kogu.
Yes, it's definitely their match right now. They have massive advantage, 65% at least. Going into, well, they're defending at this point at the moment, but I don't see it being a particularly well-held point. I think they're just going to get it almost by default. That they're strolling in there, they're opening up picnic tables, and some are being shared around.
Yeah, not much of any contestation. Bigman goes down, which is just nice to make sure that nothing will happen to anyone right now from the backlines, but it won't change much of the fact that Dominant has this 60-50% Uber advantage coming forward through Cave slowly but surely, that they're still trying to look to contest very aggressively.
Oh, fantastic work by God Mode there, getting a nice little snipe onto Biohazard is his equal other. But then finishing off DuMmTm as well from mid-air. That was a beautiful snipe, and I was glad that I was here to witness it.
Yeah, that is some valuable picks to have, with Bambi even getting a ball kill onto Decky late here. That is such a good pick to have. I don't know how he was that weak. They were already all the way in last, but no one contending besides that scout. Either way though, it forces the Kogu straight away, and they need to just contest point this in the first place. Might even be an option for Plush to just recontest immediately the picks they have. Storm tries to be deep for the medic, won't get that one either.
It's a really unfortunate, it's a difficult map to stand with any sense of privilege when you're on that last point. There's nowhere that's safe for you to be kind of hanging out, no little corners to hide in.
Yeah, and if you do find safe corner, then it usually just is at the cost of a lot of space being given up here right now. So it's just like the risk reward kind of is never in your favor on the last point. Dowell taking the risk here himself onto second, onto Dominant, not working out for them. Entry down as well on the hold, no gun that can live for much longer than just a few stickies, and with tanning on the point going down as well. This is looking dire for Kogu with about 50% on the Uber.
Yep. Also managed to get a hell of a lot of points at time.
Oh, he did not get on a point of time.
Yeah,
and that tank is ready to shoot.
It was tough. It was a good score though. I liked it. That was a nice solid finish, and the turret from the tank spinning quietly in the breeze.
So 2-0 is the scoreline. Not too much to overcome, especially in 20 minutes, but once the stalemate start, they might never end. So Kogu needs opportunities to keep momentum up and just keep it rolling from there. Midfights have been going well so far, but it only always came down to Demo dying early, so as long as Hellish plays just that safe, but that might be all they need on Plush.
Hellish did a good job of it last time, so maybe this is better and it's survived more than the opening round.
But the medic picks up the medic straight away. He gets some turn picks themselves, but it's 3-for-2 right now in Plush's favor. Q just going aggressive onto DuMmTm. Immediately gets picked onto the entry, but that's not what they need right now. They need the medic, and with dropping, jumping deep, that just barely happens in time.
That's a lovely way of putting that, jumping deep. He really went full on into it. No heights, but just skimming his body across the ground. Being very, very effective in that movement.
That is something that is like really mandatory in both Sixers and Highlander, respectively. Just the moment your mat goes down, finding out like where things are, where you just act to get the medic quickly, make the most out of your staying power on mid that you still have left. They want to even contest second here, not let P take it for free. There's a sniper watching them, but everything is kind of weak. It's only Odin and Bambi. Really, Bambi finding an opportunity to go for Ace. No one's really there. In time, never mind. Drop King Ace and Pyro just barely came there to get that, but God mode uncontested and Choke picks up the demo for it.
I was hoping to see something beautiful from Biohazard there. He had a beautiful line, but wasn't really able to see anything from it. Pyro as well. Rat, little cute. I'm not entirely certain I'm saying that right. Ignore
I think he's sure with both.
Yep, but Dowl gets med, which is a much more important pick than me observing Pyro.
Yeah, on both sides, Matt can earn right now. Later death by quite a bit by Dominant, which is always nice, you know. Mad dying is never good, but at least it's later that you can have at least a slight amount of bad. Handing forward all in on the choke, no one there to back him up. Everybody just wanted back, he got the memo too late. Means he just gets kind of walked over by the few people who take him over there. Heals up faster for Kogu as well. They don't want to let people again come in for free through into second, and they contest him aggressively. Missed opportunity there for Godmode, misses one shot. Doesn't look like he had the greatest angle for another, and everybody just kind of stuck in really bad fights for Plush right now. They just kind of try flooding in, taking fights without heals, and it's not working too well. The only one finding success is Bitman, just barely. That was courtesy of Baxter range being incredible, I think, and
yeah.
Just
Absolutely.
works out just about.
I mean, if you're going to make any one success stick, get the medic. Get the medic down and give your team an opportunity to have some way of restoring the balance, leveling the playing field, as it were.
Dowl having some trouble getting past the staircase here, and Odin bumped into him. The Dowl was clearly visible on my end, but no one noticed, I think, so that's interesting. I don't know how they didn't see that. I think Godmode caught wind of it, though, him trying to uncloak in front of him, so the Dowl has been noted. Obviously, at some point you need to be aware of the spy somewhere, right? He's always going to be somewhere as long as he's alive.
Absolutely.
But the more you're aware where exactly that guy is, the easier it is to actually catch him out before he is doing anything.
Yeah, this is the worst. This is where it's starting to get very slow, the action. No one team really wants to seem to be committing to a particular movement, although Dowl now is hovering behind this team. And will definitely be making a move in just a moment.
Yeah, there he goes, but gets spotted not too early. Same with Bigman. Bigman staying alive for just a bit longer, but the push comes in on Plush regardless. They just feel the opportunity. Let's try. Exchange started. Exchange fairly even for the most part, but they are back off of the fact that the got last that bit longer on Kogu here. And suddenly it looks a bit worse. Bambi just beasting through, eventually cleaned up by the afterburn.
Godmode gets the kill.
Just dies. It's such a good grinder here, and I don't know who's winning. Drop King eventually losing the solid 1v1.
Genuinely don't. I was thinking what an amazing kill that was, and I just checked to see who had the most players still alive, and it was evens. Most people were dead.
Yeah, the last one on mid was Dowl spawning, but that really doesn't mean anything as a spy class, so it's Dominant and his solid. Can anyone contest his people? Are slow spawning on both sides here, and Dowl's opportunity to just get the medic alone, it's not really there anymore.
Yeah, it's almost like a second mid fight during this one round. Like
It really is.
Everybody is just getting here, just arriving at the same sort of time. And there's a real sort of scruff going on as well. Little Cute is chasing down that spy. Was not going to take prisoners that time round.
Yeah, the huge difference was just Storm aggressing, like, needlessly, maybe, but it worked out in the end. Wanted to come, wanted to kill, didn't get it, but it was everybody back being weak. So they got a lot of space with that, but they maybe wanted a bit too much if you choke. Tanning goes down, Ace, and King falling as well before that. 3 down for the price of a spy already respawned. Maybe not the best exchange you can hope for here, and it was almost even, and so many players down for Kogu right now. Maybe Plush will just take opportunity here.
I don't know, Storm's been super aggressive this entire map. Going for almost every opportunity that's presented themselves. Although the same could be said for Dowl, who is now hovering behind this medal. The medal's already popped. Maybe he'll get another kill. Gets the engineer. Not really going to be a dramatic change there. It is much more interesting to be watching what's going on with these medics. DuMmTm desperately out of options, no opportunity to escape, and is taken down at the last minute as well.
Yeah, he's lucky to get the medic there. That was a weird exchange. They really made sure that Elf was stuck behind him, and it only barely worked in their favor to begin with, but the exchange was really good by Kogu. They made the best of the opportunity.
I've got to interrupt. Also, did an amazing jump in there. Takes down 2 classes. Takes down, I think, Scout and Pyro. It just seems to be like a force of his own, a tour de force of his own.
Yeah, that was maybe not a saving play, but it definitely bought them some time here to just make sure that the defense is set up, so that helps quite a bit. But yeah, that exchange was weird, because clearly it was Plush initiating through cave, but they never wanted to use, so Kogu just used to them and called at least 2 players out of the range of the medic unaware and dropped 2 of them before DuMmTm ended up using his own reverse, so a little bit of a risky play, but Kogu works perfectly in the end for them. Obviously with the add caveat that in his dying moment DuMmTm did get the kill onto Elspeth, so reverse will be even for last. That is the only thing you would really want if you're already losing a fight, and make sure that it doesn't spiral out of control even more.
I'm curious to see if DuMmTm's pick is coming in and is effective during this last hold. Storm, super aggressive again, takes down Demo.
Yeah, he just invites himself in uninvited, and it seems to be making a lot of trouble for Plushy right now. Everybody's taking a lot of damage, but it's not good enough. Godmode gets sniped from medic, and everybody else falling back. Still have the safety net of the gun to work with here. Huge just desperately looking for the medic here and finds someone and stuck in the corner. Will get the force. The saving play they might need here.
Yeah, it's a saving play, but it's still... that last point is still available. Although, you've got to have players up in order to take a point. It's generally known to be true of Team Fortress 2. You can't take it on will and mind alone.
Yeah, with Hammer and Heavy down right now, they're lacking a lot of players that's valuable here. Dowell and Ace with the double flank. That only ends up feeding a Saw. It was unfortunately on the spy, so it didn't count. That is just how spy half the time works. He's invisible or disguised. And some aggression to Shudder, not really accomplishing too much yet. The power defense, but Godmode gets the snipe he was looking for anyway, and was not playing safe off side lane there. They lose 3 people for it though, so Plush still needs to be careful for a little bit longer.
Yeah, DuMmTm having a massive advantage now. And I think I can imagine them wanting to take advantage of it and maybe push out onto mid, but not until they've got the rest of the team up and ready to go. Odin kind of having a few pot shots at that door. There's no one left to be killing at the moment.
Yeah, they're just waiting for this Uber to find an angle of approach that they're comfortable with. Gives Dowell some time to maybe go for something, doesn't have best line to declock, but tried anyway, he gets spotted straight away. And it also gets straight into dropping with that. He gets into a lot of trouble. With some damage to choke, it gets forced regardless, but at the expense of 3 lives at this point. And people still being close as well. No one really wants to rush to choke, but the only one in deep is Auto, who gets shot down with a rocket of his own midair by Wiethoofd. Taking no to that.
Yep, fantastic reflex and an in-air reflex. I want to call that an air shot. I'm going to call that an air shot. That's beautiful. Doesn't matter how they get there.
The force came out, that's what matters here, right? Like, Drop King got basically baited by Dowell really badly there. By just forcing everybody to go his way, but he still got a good rocket off with a bit of spam to show to make the work happen. Really well done, but they still have opportunity to take space here. Ace and Canning just now spawning in. The Uber not quite up for Elspeth here, they can't really fight this just yet, but they will have to if they don't want to get stuck on that. Point has been kept anyway, back to stand. Not much stopping that right now.
Well, I mean, as soon as they got the Uber, they used it, and used it effectively, took down Dominance, and now they are the team. They're doing the damage.
They all just abandoned him to take the fight in seconds.
Oh my goodness! It's almost a backhand. There was a beautiful moment there. It's ridiculous. Heavy and Demo on point, making it their own, scrawling the names in blood of their victims, and making an appointment for the next time they meet there.
Yeah, back to mid we go. Last time, DuMmTm on Plush's end, Hellish actually did survive, which sounds a bit
impressive.
Mean, but he had trouble with that so far, so, you know, if it happens again and they just don't lack the damage this time, it makes all the difference.
Yeah, I mean, he's alive. It counts. I think he's put that one failure behind him, and now moving forward. Auto getting his opponent soldier with a rocket now back up to full strength. Goes up against Tanningbed. Tanningbed survives, but I think well, more out of chance than skill, and is hanging back and trying to figure out whether or not he is going to have any chance whatsoever of holding back. And it is a complete wipe. Not even Tanningbed survived that one.
Yeah, basically bound to just go straight to last here. Not much you can do in second. They are trying to anyway, but Bambi is just hiding in the corner already, waiting for somebody to come his way. No one spotted him so far over there where he's hiding good. Let's see how valuable it is. If second gets lost quickly, he might just have to say on that already. There's nothing really defending it again. We're just forced to take a fight with Basic in the garage area, and Ace winning that one. That man played it 1 at 1 point. He has none of that.
Yeah, that was a solid 2-on-1. That was well played out. was hoping dwarfing was going to be more effective than that. Vickman making his presence felt once again. He's being a little sneaky chap at the moment, working his way around to final point. Might have been spotted by the sniper there. Maybe he has his eyes on the medic. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter in the slightest. Auto takes down the medic.
Yeah, no one was really building there, and there's only 3 people up on the defense against the pretty heavy of all things to have to contest with, and Dowerman spamming down the point. So just the lack of a little bit of building there. It's before like 93 once the Uber came in, made all the difference in the world here. It wasn't an exchange, it was straight up a kill, and Plush will drop 4-0 match point for them. Yep.
Plush being super effective towards that towards the second half of that round. Really just owning the entire story. Hellish is not quite as healthy as Hellish was last time we saw him go to mid, and is hiding in the corner, wanting the enemy to be pushed too far forward.
He just waits for everybody to rush each other. They're switching it up, not wanting to get Kogu to be too comfortable on these mid-fights, and it's not working too badly. They picked up explosive justice straight away, so everybody just tries to like hightail it into some safe corner, all the way alone, and choke Ace just on the point all alone. Maybe looking to carve it out, won't win the 1v1 with the heavy there, and everybody rotating, got spotted out early as well, tanning the last one really up, doing much there. From the backlines, not getting past the Angie and the sniper either, else all alone, getting all the way to last, no one there to build with.
Yeah, Elspeth being forced all the way back down to back to their own spawn, really, in order to preserve what was left of the Uber.
Right, a bit of contention here, walking lands. Oh, DuMmTm takes him down very easily. And that is just a drop by itself. No one had no idea where he was, and no one else apparently had no idea either. That is 8 people down in the fellow super. And then make that 6, make that maybe 7, but no, Auto gets something very valuable before he dies. Elspeth going down. No one had the eyes in the skies where they needed to be.
So unfortunate. That was a really good opportunity for them then to make a dramatic difference. It looks like even with the meds down, they're still taking points. Neither one of these teams is particularly keen to let sleeping dogs die or lie or anything of that nature. They are both gunning full for leather to try and make the best of this situation. Oh, God, Mode taking it down. The spy.
Well, does
teach
he?
you for not.
That's what he wants him to think.
Maybe playing 3-dimensional chess. In fact, he is.
Heard it all the way on last. All not really having anywhere to retreat to at this point. Just kind of forced to take 1v1 here. That turns into 2v1. Was already not favorable, but just running for his life takes a while for Giga to catch him. But that is the spy down.
Finally, long last, the real spy down for that one.
But Kogu just desperate on time as well at this point. Can't really afford not to ever let go of W. They just wanted to test for choke and not the best opportunities because they just can't not. Biohazard rewarded with at least one shot on a medic that he will take, but most of the rest of this team will unfortunately fall here.
Yeah, neither medic up at the moment. Most of the blue team are making coffee in the sky, waiting for the opportunity to respawn. A small exchange between Bambi and Deku. Thank you. That person, and God Mode takes out an engineer 1 point. So back to business as usual for both of these teams. Yeah, searching for an angle, not really able to see anything useful to get.
Yeah, just Kogu desperately trying to attempt to push the point here. They are not getting too much out of it. It wasn't the best opening to work with, but they don't have many other choices left. About 1 HP, just barely is getting mid, but with not much else around her, so there's just so little potential to fight mid in contest second much at all anymore.
Yep. Storm being super aggressive once again, goes in against Auto and managed to get the kill as well. Survives with enough health to be super effective against the opposite number of a scout, but finds a pyro as well and decides to back down quite wisely, I'd say.
Yeah, there we go. A lot of people already down, flanked, not successful. Ace has his mini behind him, but surely someone will spawn and notice that. So just a fight on the second point right now. Elspeth pass, don't want to use this Uber right now, but they don't have much choice here with the heavy and the sniper just in their face. Even though Acute is not really in range to do much of anything with this right now. Kind of just desperately forces the Uber out of dominant order with some backup spam damage from the sidelines by the heavy. That's all that really happens with just them complete completely getting crushed by the end of this Uber. As Luft goes down, Henning goes down as well, and the gun already moved up all the way deep into second, secures a lot of space here.
Now, I want to call out that was a little bit of pyro action setting prior to that medic and causing the damage over time that created an opportunity to have a pop be forced out. But Engineer, massive ownership taking on there with DuMmTm Leah, who has, I guess, done it again. I mean, it was good work.
Yeah, just again, World Time level 3 coming out when there previously were like level any, just to secure space and make sure nothing bad happens anymore. So just a surprise factor level 3, not lasting all the way at the end of the map, you're just getting blown up straight away.
That seems to a fairly brutal exchange there. Leaving the door open, I suppose, for the final point to be capped, but there's nobody left to cap it. Deki is even taking the opportunity to push forward, looking for players to kind of mop up and maybe get his foot on the point if he can, to increase the opportunity of getting this point taken. And there it is. It's returned back to form. A bit of a demo night action. It's always good to see.
Yeah, Plush is really desperate to get the last round on the board. Just throwing yourself at the issue, hoping it works, end this game as quickly as they can, but it's not quite sticking anywhere at all. Big Man trying to get Elspeth, not really hitting the shots there. She just about stays alive. None of the aggression rewarded in the end, but with 4 scoreline, a minute and a half left, you can't be too upset. Storm, speaking of aggression, just toying with his teammate there, and Godward the one winning, so maybe he's the better scout on their 6 team at the end of the day.
The sniper's a better scout? Okay, fair enough. I'll go with that. That seems reasonable.
Either way, like, at this point, a minute left. Both medics about even. Quick picks on Plush's end here, so they will obviously have a lot sooner. Maybe just enough to get some aggression started here with any sort of overcharge, even if it's just quick picks, to make sure something happens here. But for the moment,
all of the jokes are coming out at the moment. Odin using his Buffalo Stakes sandwich to get some quick kills with his fists. Goes up against Elspeth's spiky thing with the thing on the hand and manages to lose out. My words are failing me right now. Hopefully these teams have more stamina than my brain does.
Well, they don't need much more, 40 seconds left. It's just Popsy, but as to not give Alice any kills there. But this map is most certainly over, regardless of the end scoreline. And at this point, it's looking to be exactly 4, and not much more, not much else, unless this quick fix Uber is gonna be insane on the last. But DuMmTm has to use it in place of dropping there again, just landing in front of him. And as many rockets dropping hits there, with a quick fix Uber, you can't just don't die.
This is all of the Euro strats coming out in the same match, isn't it? Everybody is using every single thing that they've ever had in their inventory just to see if anything can make a real difference.
But last few seconds on the clock, no one has any Euro to speak of here. People just rush the point, and they can't blame them for it. Doesn't make much of a difference as we read the last few seconds. And that is bad. Plush will win both this map and, I guess, mid in general, winning the Grand Finals here.
Congratulations to Plush. What can we say? That was beautifully done. I love seeing all of the weapons being utilized to their fullest extent. This has definitely been an interesting map. It's been fun to watch it. And I hope you guys have enjoyed as much as I have the experience of the mad strat coming out towards the end.
Yeah, I think the one thing I got away from this, since I haven't seen much of Plush on this map in general, I guess, was they look confident in like most areas of the map, except maybe the mid-fights, where they really just like had to figure it out for quite a while, as much as they had a dominant performance this map. The mid-fights were kind of the weak spot, and Coco got away with a few at the beginning. But beyond that, they fixed mistakes very quickly, and that obviously means a lot over the course of a match like this.
Yeah, and again, it really is crucially important who wins this match, who becomes the more dominant team. And I'm glad that they were able to win with such a veracity, to really prove themselves worthy of like the most capable team to move forward into the high levels.